Well, hello. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Hope everything is going in the correct direction for you. I mean, what direction is the wrong direction? Hmm. I don't know if anyone has ever figured that out. Because if you kept going east, you'd actually end up west. If you went west, you'd end up east. And going north or south, well, depends on where you think you live. But you do end up somewhere. I was listening to, what's up, Skyhopper? I was listening to some Alan Watts earlier, and he was talking about Albert Camus. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Albert Camus. He had a philosophy of absurdism. Absurdism. And he said the only real question in the world is whether or not to kill yourself. The only real question that exists is whether or not suicide is the correct option. I've heard it been said before that what what is the like what kind of person would ever consider suicide? I think the only reasonable people that exist in the world, if you've never thought about literally what is after this experience, if you've never said, if I just go ahead and off myself, I mean that's power for one thing. That's power. But if you've never thought about it, then that to me is insane. There are people that have um, there are many people that have suppressed their mind to the point that they've 1984'd themselves. They've put themselves into such a rigmarole. They've put themselves into a place where they won't allow their mind to even consider the most absurd, whatever it might be. And I think there's such a good, it's such a healthy thing to do. I mean, I'm sure everybody here is familiar with the artwork. What's up, Fire Jake? What's up, man? What's up, Vio? The art of, let's say, hey, Torin. Torin, his artwork is fucking out of control. It's absolutely insane. I mean, if you understood the word insane and what it means inside of sanity or inside of what sane would be. So insane is actually pretty healthy thing. But if you look at his artwork, it's 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 the it's the musings of a mind unfettered with the everyday boorishness of what general society would suppose you should observe. um, uh, Ellie Jacobo, you drinking some tequila? You know, it's funny. I thought I bought some tequila yesterday, and I guess I didn't. I just bought some wine. Um, and you wake up at odd hours sometimes because somebody, I figured sober as fuck. No. I mean, like obviously it's 5:30. I haven't been drinking for many hours now. I'm perfectly sober. Uh, albeit albeit such. Ugh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Yawning. Albeit is such a good word. Uh, a little tinge of, um, I mean, it was Tuesday, so there was tequila and tacos and things like that. So I have a little bit of that left over in my system. Albeit, I'm gonna keep. I think I'm gonna make that's a really great. It's even fun to say. It's soft, but yet also it's chunky. Albeit. Mm. Anybody know that word? Anybody can spell that? Do you know that one? You're going to work in downtown Los Angeles. Lost Angels. Fire Jack, you ain't used to tequila, but you're at the end of the bottle. Yeah, we get down to the. You got to be able to use the bottle look through as like a telescope. You get to the bottom of every last damn bottle, and you think, huh, what have I seen new today? It's it's such a wild and varied, wondrous, amusing experience that you know. I think I got some. I think I got. You know what? I got some brownies. I got some brownies sitting on the counter right now. I think right now. I met this dude the other night. He gave me these brownies, and I know when I say that, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna go eat those right now because why the fuck not? Because it's fucking hilarious. That's why. So let me put this down and let me find these things. Need a little bit of light. We got this and these brownies. Nice. There we go. Num num num. Mm. What a what a what a fucking you know what I mean? What a fucking amusing existence. What a joyride it is, isn't it? It's like having a body. Having a body is like it's kind of like stealing a car. Hey, hear me out. Hear me out. It is. It's like stealing a car because you're sitting here in a body that you don't even know where all the buttons are to push. You've been in a body for however many years. For me, um, pushing them 40 years, and even I, one of the greatest of all times, one of the fucking goats of existence, that gets to experience life in a way that few will ever experience it. Just because of this is my path. But how amazing is it that even I do not know how all the buttons work in my own body? What a weird thing. There's some people that have never stuck a finger in their butthole. Isn't that weird to think that someone finds that offensive or strange or blue? I'm not saying you got to go and stick like a fucking, um, you know, fucking a tire, a, a tire iron up your rectum. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you've never even tried it, like you know, what a what a weird thing to never have even attempted such a thing as one of your own fingers in in your butthole. Like I'm not saying I'm not saying it's I'm not saying go to the doctor and have the doctor check your pulse through your butt. That's weird. There are people that go to a doctor and they pay him. It's usually him too. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars to stick a thumb in their ass. Dudes, look at. I was reading this. I was reading this article the other day, and You have to see how sick, twisted, and absurd society is, and how humans are completely recluses. Men, okay, you realize that women do not go and get a prostate exam. You realize that, right? It's a male thing to do. No woman has ever said, I went to a doctor and got my prostate examined. Which just means, what that means is, I paid a doctor to stick a thumb in my ass at about 40 years old just to see if I was gay or not. I mean, am I wrong here? And every time the doctor sticks a finger in someone's poop chute, right in their fucking, right in their little brown eye, the man usually comes because there's this certain thing that's kind of pushing there on the right, and then they go, I think I love my doctor. Because they fell out of love with their doctor when they realized the doctor couldn't fix anything about them. Here you go. Here's a, you want the fucking psychological breakdown of how this sadomasochist, this bondage and sadomasochist society exists. You fell out of love with the doctor because you realized the doctor could do nothing for you, because at about 40 years old, you might have cancer in your butt, and you got brain tumors, you got fucking, your whole body is riddled with the most, oh, and I mean, you did it to yourself, but the doctor couldn't fix you, and so then you go to the doctor, and the doctor goes, well, gonna have to check your butthole out. Like, why? Why? What? If you just stick a finger up someone's ass, you can figure out whether they're healthy or not. There's a lot easier ways to go about that, honey. But dudes are so convinced that right around 40, 45, maybe a little older than that, they go have a fucking doctor jam an entire finger up their butthole until they come. If you've ever got what a stupid thing to do. Completely stupid. Completely stupid. um, Stephen K. What kind of brownies? Only the best kind. Uh, herbal remedy brownies. L.A. Jacobo. I'm an attorney. I don't steal. This is correct. Attorneys do not steal. They just persuade one to persuade something. It's funny. Even like the power of my tongue is multitudes. It's beyond at this point. But even when I was a child, people were like, you should probably be a lawyer. You should probably get into, the language arts. And I was like, no, I don't know anything about it. But yeah, VO Stephen K. Never drink alcohol but super greens. Yeah, I think that just has to do with one's general disposition in the world, whether fire water or green is the preferred, you know what I mean? The preferred balancing agent. Because it's interesting with weed, you can turn it edibles, but usually you would I mean that's kind of like that's next level alchemy. Usually the point of weed is you make it easy, you just roll it up and you smoke it, so you're burning it. So it's not all that different, because alcohol has gone through the process of, you heat it up. Alchemy, it tends to be the process of using fire to make something cleaner. And so when you burn green, you're burning something off, and you take the smoke in, so the difference is, weed is hot and dry, where alcohol is hot and wet. It's a wet dry difference, but they're both hot, and that's some that's some interesting alchemy if you want to think about that. What's up, Brandon? Oh, Leo's up. Leon, what's up, man? Hashish, hashish and assassins. Yes, the hashashins. Yes, yeah. That's a really interesting connection. The hashish and the assassins. Yep. Indoctrination institutions. No, no, Vio. No, I didn't make them myself. I was out on Super Bowl Sunday. I'll post. I'll post some of the pictures because I told y'all that New Orleans is the greatest city on the planet. There was nowhere you could find the Super Bowl on the TV. I mean, I don't even remember who won. I watched the whole game, but I didn't watch the whole game because I was too busy hanging out with cool people. But there was a party where they just shut off all the like a bunch of like you know a bunch of streets and had a fuck the Super Bowl party, and then the newspaper on Monday morning was what Super Bowl? It literally that was the net was the Times Picayune newspaper picking you. The newspaper said what Super Bowl, and that's what it said as the front page, all of the front page, because people just went out and was like, "Fuck that, we're gonna party anyways." It was fucking hilarious. Such a good time. Such a good time. And so while I was out, some dude was just dressed up as you remember those old medicine men that they would always wear the masks, kind of like think of like 1400s medicine men that they put the masks on, and it was so they didn't get sick from everyone else. It had like a the big long nose and all of that. I don't know if anybody. It's kind of. Do you remember playing? Oh, there you go, Assassin's Creed. I think you probably the first version, the first one or the second one. You'd go and buy these different things, and you basically dressed up as one of the medicine men. And so he was out there like that, and it was me and some weirdos at at a bar that I'd never go to, but it was a really big bar. It's called Gordon Biersch, and and this dude just had a fucking a basket full of brownies, and he was like, "Here you go, have fun." And he was like, well, we took enough for us for the evening. Then he just handed me a bunch more, and I was like, "Fuck, all right," and I have a couple left over. So here I am now. Ellie, I did not know that you have to get a finger in your rectum as well. Well, uh, I mean, if you know what, for me, if it's a lover, then okay. But if it's just somebody you're paying lots of money, the doctor's a prostitute. So, Fire J, who's having weird synchronicities? Yeah, man, that's always, man. I'll be gentle at first. Yeah. This is yeah. If it's a woman, the woman doctors are the woman. Here's another psychological thing. If you ever broke a bone or done something, and then you go and they feed you a bunch of whatever drugs so they can set your bone, and then you get the woman that's kind of taking care of you. Like it's easy to fall in the chemical conundrum of what you'd consider love. I had I've broken a few bones, and when there's a woman there being gentle and like fawning and taking care of you as you have a broken hand or whatever the fuck it is, it's easy to go, oh wow, Look at the gentleness of this creature. Isn't it lovely? Wouldn't this be? And so to fall in love with a woman that is a doctor or a nurse or whatever, it's very interesting. Whereas a man doctor has become calloused and they smell weird. They always smell weird. It's been so long. I do not go to doctors because they're fucking because they smell weird and they think they know too much. Skyhopper butt plug away. Yeah. Veo. Yeah, that's the thing. Some people, the chemicals in the alcohol, everything that we're doing is chemical related. So no one should ever get it twisted. Sugar turns into alcohol. So if you consume sugar, you're consuming alcohol because your body's going to do it anyways. And um, whether you're eating whether you're eating a steak with all the blood in it, whether you're eating maybe some sort of vegan or vegetarian, these things are having a chemical it's a chemical wedding, if you will. And some people just don't work well with certain substances. I think there's genius in all of the substances, and obviously, because I speak about it as much as I do, there's genius in not consuming any substances. So you find what to each their own. Everybody's got their vices, and everybody's um, participates in the world slightly different. Some things are funkin' with you, and some things are like funky with you. They're just. Here you go, baby. Yeah. Sorry, little puppy here was. She need a little attention. Fire Jake, the ice is all burnt up from the tequila. What's up, Branches? What's up, dude? The Hashashins, thank you. Yeah, Veo Stephen K knows what's up. Quivers and shivers from the rivers. Yeah. Fire Jake on it, yeah, I like it, man. Tains reframes lames the ignorant. Ellie Jacobo, I would assume that I would have assumed that with you. You're just in your name alone says you've definitely participated in the multitudes of different delicious delights. Holy fucking shit! It's it's 6 in the a.m. and if anybody doesn't know, I can't I'm not gonna say it out loud. Oh, Fire Jake already knows. Fire Jake knows who. Oh shit. Well, Fire Jake said it. So if anybody doesn't know, it is the ummy. And yes, Ellie Jacobo. Yes, that is a thank you. It is certainly. Holy shit. The ummy is in the building. Um, how am I doing this morning? Perfect. I just woke up at sometimes I wake up at odd hours because someone was channeling my energy, so I get up and I just speak. I couldn't tell um, If it was just because the dog was kind of doing the, once in a while she's just staring at me. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if she wanted my attention or if it was someone on the other side of the screen. I think it was somebody on the other side of the screen. I'm not sure who it was yet, but does Ami drink the pee pee? Interesting. Eh, Interesting that you might ask such things. Could you imagine this? To all of you delightful, wonderful piss drinkers out there, taking the piss, as it were, if you're a Brit or or maybe even Australian. I think we even says I think the Australians even say take the piss, but I think it's more of a British thing. Just about everybody that listens to my channel has at least like drank their piss like a few times and probably realizes how it fucking is. But does Ami drink the pee pee? The one of the closest people, probably the closest person ever to me. Do they drink the piss? Hmm. You know. Yeah, I mean that's where it came from. She does put it in her eyes, yes, so she can see better. She went to the eye doctor, and her eyesight apparently got better, which is really weird. Because if you got astigmatism in your eye and it got better, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. The piss in your eyes, that'll clean up your eyesight real quick. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Hey, VO Stephen K, stay well, dude. Uh, be cool and have a good time at the JOBs, yo. So who else is up in here? Anybody new in here? I do enjoy all of you, but if it's should I piss on my optician? um, Leon, should you? I'm assuming your optician is a female, and she'd probably enjoy if you did. I think she's into the waterworks and the rain crafts. Bye, me. Nice to see you. Golden showers for everybody. Pissing on these motherfuckers, yo. Pissing on them every day. Oh, so good, isn't it? Oh, that is fire day. That's there. There you go. There is peace in the piss. If people would just understand, it it's it's as we go back to because for whatever reason, R. Kelly, them motherfuckers, Will Johnson. That's right. R. Kelly, them bitches. Yeah. If we go back to the beginning of the video, because often times what I'll find myself capable of doing is weaving this pattern of words that gets me to one word that brings me back to the beginning and what we were talking about at the beginning of this video. And I think that there's a special there's a special something in some people that allow them to you have these gifts, and mine is of gab. and, and what it is about piss is if you go back to the beginning, I was talking about the Basically I was getting at the intelligence of absurdities, and how, if you listen to Albert Camus, and think about how absurd it is to do just about anything. There's a lot of absurd things to do. But if we think about drinking piss, how absurd that is at first, but once you do it, your brain works differently, like way different. Like you have a certain you have a different capacity. It from a chemical standpoint, you've done all the good things for your brain. You've fixed things in your head. But just from from a psychological, excuse me, not physiological, but from a psychological standpoint, you just said, okay, everything I've been told is wrong, and I'm just gonna go back to the beginning. I'm just gonna rewind time to when I was not only a babe in my mother's bosom, but I was a child of the universe. I was innocent of anything, and all I did was sit there in a puddle, in a stew of urine, and you just laid there, and it developed and formed you. And so, Fire Jack say plasma and piss. Yeah, there's plasma. Like, why do you think they talk about in the movies plasma rays and plasma guns? Because it's your blood plasma, and your blood plasma turns into golden piss because it's clean plasma, the cleanest. Why do you think that young children naturally know how to swim when thrown in water? Yeah, that's the cover of Nirvana, the album Nirvana. The dude, the little baby swimming underwater. Why? Yeah, because we come from the waters. Yes, not yeah. He is number nine. Number nine. Anybody see that cartoon? Number nine is in all ways the fucking most hilarious, amazing. Yeah, look it up. Number nine. Hmm. Give me 1 second, because I have to get a cord to charge my phone. So just give me a few moments here as I inspect. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. There we go. That's the one. That's the good one. Ooh, shove for that. We'll have to clean that up in the morning. Aren't those the funnest times? You're like, well, I'll get that in the morning. We'll get that in a second. Some people think because your house is a mess once in a while that it stays that way, but I stay bathed in perfection, and once in a while, I let a few things, you know, here to drop my shoes in the wrong place, put this over here, and go, what the fuck is this? How did I do that? But I think that goes back to the absurdness of life. Have you ever met somebody that lives in a house that is so fucking like awfully? They get the white room and all this shit. Like people just be put. Oh, this is not what I wanted. I just untied a. There we go. Give me 1 second. I'll get back to it. But they have this fucking house that is so absurdly clean that it seems like no one's living there. I think this is a fun one. Let me get back. This is, you know what? This cord is working just fine. Hold on. That was a mess right there. That was no good. Here, let me get this. Okay. So the house is so perfect I had a well, here we go. We're back. So I'm sure a lot of people had this as a child. It depends on the kind of family you had, but I had a room in the house. So you had the family room and the living room. And it was very funny because one of those two rooms didn't get used ever. So the house was big enough where there was an extra room that had the fancy furniture and white carpet in it. Fancy furniture, white carpet, but no one ever went in that room. I mean, I did, and I would just sit there like a fucking goof off, and no one went in there. It was a room that was dedicated to being not used. And sometimes you go into people's houses and their entire house is like that. Like, who's living here? It, shouldn't it be lived in? Shouldn't your shoes be used to walk? Shouldn't your clothes be worn? Should not the place that the establishment, the house, your domicile, shouldn't it be used? I mean, it's there for a reason. Now, on the other side, what you have is people that have gone over the fucking, just in the deep end. They've lost it completely, and their house is a miserable, unkempt. I use the word kempt, Kempt. That's a good word too. Uh, and both of those things are fucking insane. Have you ever been in someone's house that's so fucking messy that you just like you feel like you should clean up because, and then you look at it and if you realize the connection to that person's mind, it's like, man, you got leaving cupboards open and you're fucking the shit's all over here like this, like, yo, it's like I'll leave the dishes in the sink for a night, but after I get up, I'm like, all right, we clean this shit up, and it's clean and it's perfect. But to see people that like live in a constant state of um, absolute filth, that's that's exactly the same as someone that has all of those rooms that no one goes in, that isn't lived in. They're both dead in a different way. They're both dead completely. What a what a fuck trip, you know? Kitab, what about Katvaner hardly screw that. I am distinguishes from everything else. I am not tolerant at everything. Yeah, why be tolerant? Tolerance is a form of accepting the the mockery of human, uh, like what it is to be human. No, you should not exactly. You distinguish yourself from being tolerant. This is right. Yes. Don't be tolerant. Tolerance is for fools, unless you have a very you can have a very high tolerance, right? Like, okay, so tolerance of, some people can eat all day, some people can drink all day, some people can work, do something. Some people can watch TV all day. Some people can, so they're tolerant to that. But there's the level of tolerance we're talking about is people find a way to allow for habitual line stepping motherfuckers. And that's the kind of tolerance that is not okay. It needs to, it's like you need to nip that shit in the bud immediately. The tolerance of ignorance. Exactly. I couldn't have said it any better. The tolerance of ignorance. Why is it that um you know that I speak like this? You think did okay, it is enjoyable. It is enjoyable. I like it. I find myself amusing. I do. But to find people that speak with such tenacity is because we will not allow for the bullshit, for the ignorance, for the stupidity, for the absolute ridiculous bullshit that occurs. It's like George Carlin said, I have a very low threshold for stupid shit. I have a very low threshold for it. Don't get me wrong. If we're gonna go out and party, let's do all the stupid shit. We know amongst each other that stupid shit occurs. So we equally put it. We all put a token in and engage in the game, and we all act a fool. That's fine. That's fine. But on a regular basis in the larger society, to just people walking around, fucking, you know, caffeinated, lit up completely, and just watching the shit show of what's going on, and just going that's fine. We'll accept that. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. But what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You're gonna get through this. You're gonna get through this life. Just like if you just get through the day and you get to the dream world. Oh, first of all, we're in a dream world. It's just a different kind of dream. And if you get through the day and get to a dream world, you found yourself inside of Doth. A fun place to be. I mean, this world is a great place. Never get me wrong. Even the times I'm doing and saying all this ridiculous shit, and like it seems like I'm saying, you just have to realize there's a counterbalance to all of this. There's a counterbalance to the insanity of the world. There is the this goes back to, again, as because the name of the show, and because we were talking about Albert Camus and the the logic of being absurd, and what it, you know the idea of suicide. That is the counterbalance. Death is the counterbalance for life, except for most people that are living are actually dead, and the dead, which are now they've become disembodied spirits. They become the living, but they are like, oh shit, I could have been doing this while I had a body. Do you understand what I just said there? When people die, what they do is they become spirits, but they already were a spirit. I just simply have a spacecraft, a body, just like you do, but I've covered and cloaked myself of what I actually am, which is my spirit, which is what I fuck with all the time, which is why I participate in spirits of all sorts, humans, foods, fasting, alcohol, weed, all of the stuff. It's a spirit. So I commence some dialogue with all of these things, but when I go to sleep at night, I'm disembodied, and my spirit is absolutely free beyond the confines of what my physical skin allows for. But yet, I still know inside of the skin, I'm still a spirit. And a lot of people have forgotten that. That's what everyone forgot. That's what it is. That's what you're supposed to remember. Did it it might not seem like a lot to anyone, that I'm awake at, you know, 5:30 in the morning. It might seem it's just like nothing. It's like whatever. But if you understood like the tenacity and the energetics of what the spirit is, that you just wake up at odd hours for some reason because you have telekinesis, because you have the capacity to energize a fucking gigantic system. That's what it is. I mean, who changes the world? Who changes the world? You do, but you changed it for yourself. I do. I change the world because I change it for myself. So every day I get to have a different experience. Sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's whatever, but we change the world because you change your words to change the world. It's the same spin. You just spin it differently. Thank. There you go, Leon. There it is. Let me scroll back through here. Fire Jake. You say you now awakening the reality I've created. What's going on with time travel? Time travel is space travel, which means if you just move slightly, you're traveling. Even if you don't move, you're traveling. But I mean, to what degree? That I'll say for I'll do a time travel show soon on specifically that. But right now, I'm not fucking with time travel. I'm enjoying the place, space, and time that I'm in. How about time stopping? Like what about stopping time? Because as Neville Goddard said, when you're really on it, you can stop everything. You can stop everything turns into basically gossamer. So everything just turns into a plastic playground. Yeah, there it is. You create. Well, here, look at the Cotton Vonner and Firejack. Just take the word time, write it down on there. Like just type time, and then write time in reverse. What do you get? What does time equal in reverse? That's what your body is. That's what your mind is. Yes, you emit time. You it's creating. You you make time exist. No, on a regular basis. I mean, we say all these things. We're not like the fucking top dog master craftsman of the whole thing. We can't just like, oh, stop time right now. That's difficult to do because you gotta change your brain waves and blah blah blah, and you gotta do a bunch of things. But we know it's real, and that's how it works. You can stop time, you can speed up time, you can slow down time, you can travel through dimensions and different time spaces, the time space continuum. Yeah, I mean, uh, Kurt Vonner. I mean that I know that very well because it came from one of my favorite teachers, and I have it inked up on my knuckles. Um, but it just makes so much sense that there's a reason that you could be making love to somebody and it seems like fucking eternity, and you could put your hand on a hot stove and it like holy shit, it was only there for a second, but it felt like too way too long. It was too much. You want my brain in a jar? Well, isn't it more fun? Isn't my brain more fun displayed out this way through my mouth than it would be in a jar? Could you imagine my brain in a jar? There would be no mouth attached to it, and you wouldn't be able to hear what my brain is actually doing. So many people have wanted to study my brain. So here, the easiest way to study someone's brain is to listen, because the you can't hear what I hear. You cannot see what I see. I wish you could smell what I could smell, because if you could smell what the rock is cooking, because the smell is so important. But the way that you get in tuned with the infinite, the way you get aligned with the infinite cosmic giggle, the I don't know why I want to say the word Ouroboreum, but that's what I just made up right there. Ouroboreum. It's like an Ouroboros and an auditorium. If you get in tune with that kind of idea, like how do you give your brain to somebody? How do you give your I'm gonna give a, I'm you say you see these people say I'm gonna give this person a piece of my mind, a piece of my mind. Right, okay, a piece of my mind. I don't give people pieces of my mind. I give people the whole fucking thing. It's all there. It's very much on display. Here's my whole mind. What would you, how must I say it? It's always being said. This is what my mind looks like. It's a complete fucking amazing, beautiful shit show of um, craziness, absurdity, love, funk, stankin' ass, stupid bullshit, weirdness, confusion, certainty, whatever it might be. But if you put my brain in a jar and pickle it, it's not gonna work so good. It's not gonna do. It's not gonna do. Well, words are almost everything. There, silence is always also something. And as I like to repeat occasionally during these broadcasts, which they say if you're on radio, you can't have silence. There's no there's none of this. I beg to differ. I can do that. I can do that, and everyone should. And when I'm not speaking, there's a lot of times where I'm not thinking either. I'm allowing my brain to just sit there. My brain sits there as the same way if you were about to go race a car and the engine is on idle, you're just sitting there. It's like that. But if I gotta step on the gas, we doing 0 to 100 real quick, real quick. That's the that's what people sometimes fail to. They think they always need to be doing something. That your brain always no, your brain needs to rest. Your mind needs to rest. Your body needs to rest. And those things I do very well because I see the intelligence in watch go and look at an owl. I I have these crow friends that now these crows they don't even move when I walk by, even with the dog. There's this one crow that was just walking around, looking at me and the dog from about 10 feet away. You can't get that close to a crow. I probably could have walked over and like, pet it or something. It just wasn't, I was like, wow, this crow is literally letting me within 10 feet of it. Usually you get about 30 feet. The reason why a crow will fly away at about 30 feet is because it has extra weight and it takes a little while to get off the ground. It's not like a normal bird that can just flap its wings and be out. So when you look at certain animals, especially an owl, or they just sit there and they're observing. They're, if I can do the if I can do the most and proper injustice to this poem, I'm going to do it. It's the wise old owl sat on an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. What a wise old bird. I think I did that. I think I did that right. Holy shit! I didn't fuck that up too bad. Um, my only commentary on it is an owl a bird? I don't know. An owl is a wholly different. It's a strange thing, isn't it? An owl is a strange thing. Look at a bird. Look at birds. Look at birds, and they flap their wings and they're. But an owl, the way it's shaped and the size of its fucking eyes, and they're always wide open. That's weird, but that's how. As I loop back around to what I was saying, is that's what you have to do with your mind sometimes. You have to just sit there. Have you ever watched someone that has an extreme form of autism? It's called awe. Oh, because they're in awe of something. You'd call it retardation, maybe, but it's not. And what they'll do is they'll sit there and just stare at someone. You ever see these kids? They're just like staring at something and they don't say anything. And you're like, dude, stop looking at me. That's weird. No, they're a pinball wizard. They're calculating something. And they've slowed time down to the point where you're confused as to why they haven't spoke yet. You get to see me on here talking. But if you realize how often I was sitting there just not talking, observing things and staring, that's that's it's like you think Robin Williams was always just doing cocaine and screaming and ranting around on a stage. The antithesis has to exist. The opposite of that has to exist. The counterbalance of movement of the mind is stillness of the mind. It doesn't mean to go and take some meditation class and think you can sit there and stop your mind from working, because it doesn't happen that way. If you exhaust, let me help you all right now, if I may. Let me help you with meditation. I'm going to show you what meditation is. I'm going to show you in real time, in a way, at almost an hour in here that no one's ever going to see this. No one's ever going to hear this except for you. I'm going to tell you in the most perfect way how to meditate properly. And I'm going to show you why it works as it does. If you go and lift weights, your muscles your muscles will become tired. And after those muscles become tired, they want to relax. So you tighten your muscles up so tight, and you're pulling these heavy weights. I mean, you can do it. You can do isometrics. You can do plyometrics. You can do a bunch of other things that are gonna do better for your muscles than picking up heavy fucking weights. But what what I'm explaining here is this: if you lift weights to the point of exhaustion, your body will stop from moving afterwards. You can only lift a weight 10 times. And then your muscles give out because they don't have the energy to do it anymore. So, if I'm explaining to you meditation, I'm going to explain to you meditation in such a fucking way that it's going to blow your fucking brains out. It's going to show you in a way that is physically, it is, I can point at it and show you how to meditate. If you let your mind work to such a point, to exhaustion, if you let your mind, if you let your mouth if you just observe if you saying things like right now, I could say something for 2 hours, but afterwards, I'm completely at peace. I'm at peace to a degree of meditation that it would be hard for most yogis to get to. You can't just sit there and be quiet for 10 hours. That's taking you back to fucking kindergarten. It's taking you back to preschool. It's taking you back to when the the people, the status quo said, "Sit down and shut up. It's better to be seen and not be heard." So what we do in a very plain to see obvious fashion, if you want to meditate, speak your fucking mind. Then you can meditate. I mean, I'm meditating while I speak. That's the next level. But if you just speak, you get rid of all of that. It's something that's what's weighing you down. They tell you this. What's weighing you down? What's on your mind? I'll tell you what the fuck's on my mind. Here's what's on my mind, and here, have this. And after it's gone, we just go, ah. So the art of meditation, the proper form of meditation, is to first release. Why is the one in front of the class? You'd call the master teacher, the yogi, the guru, sits there and talks for 2 hours, and then he's capable of smiling and meditating. But everybody in the back of the class, on the other side, can't meditate. They're trying, but they can't because they have something to say, but they won't say it. But the guru sits there and speaks it. And and there's your brief 2 minute meditation for the day. Um, exert yourself in one way, and you get relief in the other direction. Speaking gives you silence. Lifting weights makes you weak. Go lift a bunch of weights, and then afterwards, you want to fall over and take a nap, don't you? Makes you weak. Could you imagine that? Could you tell a weightlifter that's really big that lifting weights made him weak? Wouldn't make sense, but it is the truth. The world's all, you're not paying attention. I have as much strength as I need because I don't exhaust it. If you exhausted yourself, I mean, I exhaust myself talking, which puts my mind at ease, and that's the suggestion for meditation. And welcome back. Let's go on to some new things. Cat brain. I've never heard of that, but I'm gonna look that word up. Um, Stamina. Stamina is a good word. You can learn to do that. Stamina is also kind of eh, it's like a lot of people can do a lot of work for a long period of time. Could they just stay awake for 2 days? That is extra right there. If you can push yourself through sleep and not sleep, what's the longest anybody? If I told you how many days I went without sleep, you would say you're fucking crazy. You would absolutely say you're a lunatic and you're out of your fucking mind if I told you how many days in a row that I went without sleep. Pretty much to the point where like you go, okay, you didn't eat for a few days. Okay, well I didn't eat for 43 days. Is that insane or is that genius? In the same way I went without sleep. You ever done that? Try it. If without not sleeping is going to um, heat up your heat up your brain, and it's going to release fluids that your brain doesn't need, and then you put new fluids in there. Most people, The biggest problem in this world is the lack of water. Mike S. Nope, that's not true. Not good math. I'm good at math, homie. I'm good at math, and wondering why out of nowhere you just got to jump in there with that dumb shit. But but here's what you do. Um, Fun, right? Cat Varner, Cat Vanher, Cat Vanner. Can I ask you a question? Um, why do you have caps lock on, and why are you screaming? Because it's early in the morning, and all the extra big letters. It just. Do you think people read that better? Because I didn't even read the last thing you said because it was so loud. I was like, dude, slow down. I was like, dude, can you just relax a little bit? Just allow the keyboard to work the way it should. Maybe do the opposite. Instead of all caps, try for a little while to do all the lowercase. But you are onto something. As I've as I've told people before, there's not 26 letters in the English alphabet. There's 52. So Cat Varner, um, there's 52 letters in the English alphabet. Do you know how many weeks there are in a year? 52. It's coded. There's a larger thing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know. She knows that. I'm just playing with her. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I no, I know. I dig you being here. I was just saying like just the extra the big letters. It's just kind of like that capitis diminutus. It's maritime admiralty and all that stupid shit that people like. Well, the letters are big or small. Like, well, how about the fuck? I don't use any letters. It doesn't. I drew it that way, so it means that. What a weird symbolism the English language is. That I can have a small a or a big a, and they're designed and drawn completely different. There we go. Cat with them caps. You know what? I'm gonna call you Colin Capper. Oh shit! There's a Colin Kaepernick joke right there somewhere in there. I was trying to get through it. I couldn't. I'm not that fast, but shape shifting on it. That's for sure. So let's go back to an old talk. Let's go to well, it might be new for some of you. It's about the alphabet and about the letters. Does anybody want me to do this talk right now, or do you want me to do something else? Yeah, yeah, fire Jack. There it is. I mean, but if I stop talking, that would just wouldn't be entertaining. Is this not entertainment? So, do you guys want me to do the talk on why letters look like they look, or do you want me to do something else? Yeah, you want to hear this one? All right. I'm gonna call you Cat Vaughn. All right, what's up? Hey, CJ, what's going on, man? Authentically joyous. This is what we got. This is what I'm doing right now. All right, here's the letters. Here's how they work. First, realize that letters have a certain angular construct. If you look at the uh, the uppercase, you'll see look at the letter A. Let's just start with the letter A. And what you see is it's an angle, it's a triangle with the border in the middle that holds it together, makes it strong. And the lowercase a, if you look at the right one, it has a curve on the top and it's very bubbly and bouncy and it's feminine. But the uppercase a is very masculine. It's very much uh, symbolized within that. Then you look at the letter B, And the big B has a straight back, a small top, and a big bottom. The small top is the breast, and the big bottom is the birthing. See, so the letter B, it's the birthing process. It's feminine. And the lowercase b, there's absolutely no breast and a bigger belly. And the B was initially the first letter of the alphabet. It was supposed to be. But then the masculine patriarchy took over and made the plow, because the A is representative of a boar or an ox, or more importantly, what a cow used to be, which is called an auroch. Aourch, I believe that's how you spell it. As an auroch. It's when cows had horns, and so that was that got turned into the beginning of the alphabet, even though the B was supposed to be. And then we have the C, and the C is big or small. It's the same thing. It's a cup or a chalice. And then, so as we go through these letters, what we're going to notice is that there's a developing of the shape of the letter and its meaning. And then as we take these letters, which this is the part they don't teach you in school, which is fucking terrible, because you should know this, that you put those letters together and you create a word. But people believe in words, but they don't believe in letters. Imagine that. I want that. I want that to really seep into people's brains. That you believe in the words, but not the letters. Yet the letters make up the words. It's like believing in a house, but not knowing the house was made from 2x4s and drywall and timbers and all of that's a word is made of letters. And so now those letters that have created these words, which are symbols, the symbols are the letters, and the symbols as even more. Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, Cat, I'm with you on that. I just don't have any with me. I already ate some. I already ate some. So then you create from these words. You create sentences that have a period or a question mark or an exclamation point. Usually, the two major things are period and exclamation point. And the period is related to the woman. It's a sentence. It's like when a woman is on her period and she's mad, and she gotta just use the excuse that she's on her period to say whatever the fuck she wants, which is fine, but that's where you get the period at the end of the sentence. That's what happens, which is connected as well to the moon, because the period is the moon. It's when you start writing something, it's from the sun to the moon. As soon as you start writing something, you use a capital letter. I don't know why. The only thing within the entire statement is the first letter, which is usually T, as in the cross. The, the end. There it is. The beginning, the whatever. So you start whatever you're writing as the sun and move into the moon, which is the period. And so the period is connected to the feminine aspect. The beginning of the sentence is connected to the male aspect. So the beginning of the sentence is electric and the end is magnetic. So you're drawing something to the end of the sentence using magnetism, starting with electricity, which is the bolt of, and it's a big, large capital letter, and then you use all small letters until you get to the period, which is connected to the that's the end of the sentence. What else is a sentence? It's all connected to the moon, the magnetism, the mother. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Was that fun? Was that fun? I hope I covered everything I needed to there. So I think we got that. We got the letters. The we got with 26. We got the 52. How about the? Hmm, what else? What else can we explain about these things? You're looking for a don't don't make me. You know you want me to make me do it. Don't make me correct your You said your. It's you are, which is you got to put a little above the and then re. That's what you're looking for. See, look at that. Look at how not fun I can be. I can correct your verbiage. What's with the unicorns? Here, let's talk about the unicorns. So the unicorn just went from New York City to Dallas. Anybody? I'm gonna tell you how deep this shit goes. Anybody? Come on here, just jump in here. The unicorn just went from New York to Dallas. This literally just happened. Anybody want to tell me what that means? Here's what I'm gonna do. I don't know why, but um, okay, here. Somebody tell me what the unicorn went from New York to Dallas means, and I'm gonna go roll something up. So give me 1 minute and 38 seconds. Well, here I am again. Ugh. Round two, round three. What are we doing here? Okay. What's with the unicorns? A unicorn is yes. The cornucopia, the corn is said to be what the world is fueled on. Corn oil, it really is. Where did the corn come from? The Mayans, the illusionists, the Mayans. Maya means illusion. Mother Maya, illusion. They said that they heard from the earth how to make corn, so they called it maize, because it's a maze, like a corn maze, maize. So this maize they produced is called an ear of corn. It's an ear of corn because they heard how to make it. So this corn maze, the unicorn, a singular hearing. Why is it so funny that you can see a giant giraffe with a 20-foot neck looks like a leopard. There's nothing really. There's nothing really um, ergonomic about a giraffe, but a giraffe exists. Yet people cannot believe for 1 second. But hold on. There's also a rhinoceros. A rhinoceros, a big gray creature with a horn or maybe two sticking out of its fucking nose. That exists. A rhinoceros. And also, just to be funny, because I've seen it before, a a duck-billed platypus. Isn't that a thing? It's a duck that's also a platypus, and even a platypus. To just to be certain, that's a really crazy name and a weird animal. And there's one that has a duck bill. Huh, weird. But nobody can, for a second, just believe that a unicorn exists. Literally, a horse with a horn. A horse with a horn. Nobody. The horse is connected to Horus, which is connected to time, but that's not a whole nother talk. It's unbelievable for people to believe there's a white horse with a horn growing out its skull. That's unbelievable. But there's giraffes and there's duck-billed platypuses, but not a unicorn. Trump and all that. Yeah, there's some funny shit there. Yeah, David Mannion, a goat and a horse, a goat and a horse. Yeah, goats are the shit, yo. And isn't it amazing that within this beautiful language of English, that somehow the word goat is also, what is it? Not an acronym, but like you can take the first letter from each word, and you get GOAT, the greatest of all time. Isn't that weird? Because literally, truly, a goat is probably the greatest fucking thing of all time. They're hilarious. They're friendly. They can walk up an 80-degree incline. They make funny noises. I mean, Jake, what's up, man? And Mike, uh, why do cats have snake-like eyes? Yeah, we've gone over that before. We've gone over the snake-like eyes. It's a portal to a different. It's a portal to another dimension because because cats are snakes. They're not fucking. They're a crossbreed of snakes and lions. That's just what it is. And their portal of their Vesca Pisces is connected to the snake realm. So they're more snake than they are lion. Yep. Obviously. Obviously, the cats only get to be like 20 pounds. There's not a fucking the cats are from the feline family of the 600-pound tigers and lions, and then you have cats that are 20 pounds. Where's the why aren't there any things in the middle there? There's nothing. Why isn't there a 126-pound cat? Why isn't there a 200-pound cat? Because there's not. There's 20. There's 10 pound at best, and you got people that feed their cats wrong, and they're just fat pieces of shit. But it's a fat snake. That's all it is. It's a fat snake. Yeah. Jungle Book. What are you talking about? I don't think anything about salt and urine. What do you mean? A goat is stubborn and a snake in the grass. Jungle Book. What do you mean? What do I think about salt and urine? What kind of question is that? Be more, be more, be more proficient. I'm over here just talking, and you have a keyboard there, and you could learn to use the letters more corrector. I mean, but what do you mean excess salt? What are you saying? What are you asking me? No, I'm not. Like it might sound like I'm coming off like a dick, but I've been out here for an hour and a half, and like I don't understand what you mean when you say, what do I think about excess salt in the urine? What does that mean? What do you mean? What do I think about it? I don't think about it. Drink your piss. What do you think? How about this? Let's flip it around to you. What do you think about drinking your piss? Do you drink your piss? If you drank your piss, there wouldn't be excess salt in it. How's that? I mean, I don't really don't understand. Salty taste hearing is a natural salt, and yes, get loopy on it. I don't know. I mean, it seems as though that sugar, salts, and other things that you'll taste in your urine are equivalent to the. It's like water has memory. Water is memory. Memory comes from two words, meminori, meaning water and light, memory. So water does have memory in a sense. They can program things in water. So it seems like it's a memory of salt being in the system. I don't know I don't know what actually is in it. I don't have the the tools or the time or the need or the want to go and figure out if there's actually organic or inorganic salts within urine. But I do know that the more of the water that you drink, the cleaner that it becomes, and the majority of what you call waste goes out the back. So you shit out the waste. It's not. Uh, it's not coming out the front. It doesn't. It's the what's coming out the front is the clean version, the the already distilled version. Your body distilled the liquid. You know, if you shit out your dick and pissed out your ass, well, what a weird world that would be. But whatever and whoever and however you were created, it would seem as though right in front of you is something clean, and what's behind you, well, let it go. Put it behind you. Put it on the ground. So you'd shit and walk forward. But your piss is always there right in front of you. I don't know what's in it. I don't know why it tastes salty. Probably just to give you a little bit of like, hey, you probably shouldn't be eating all that salt. Just to remind you. I think piss becomes a reminder. So here I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna go on a limb. Um, and say this that I think the new world or whatever it's supposed to be. I'm gonna make a really huge connection here for people. People that know the Earth is flat and this realm is flat drank their piss. So what I'm saying is there's people that have drank the piss and people that have not drank the piss. There are people that believe in their institutions of people outside of them. They don't drink piss. They are not. They will not take the piss. They will not have a joke. They will not have a drink. They will not drink the piss. They are not, and so they believe in the fantasy of the globe, the fantasy of the ball's earth, ball, the lower ball, Lord Ball. But if you've drank your piss, you fucking certainly know what the fuck is going on because you have respect for yourself. If the blood is in you, then what's wrong with the urine? I would never drink my piss. Why don't you just go drink, eat your poop too? Oh man, that's so silly. It doesn't even make any sense when people say that shit. But I think there's a huge, I think there's a giant correlation between drinking your piss and knowing where you fucking live. Being it's being honest with yourself about what you are and what you're made of. If there's urine coming out of my body, then apparently that was already in me and part of me. And when it's already been part of you, like have you ever cut yourself and sucked on your finger? Like you ever cut your finger and suck on it? Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down. I'll tell anybody here. Here, let me put my I'll put my face on this for this. Just so I can here, hold on 1 second. Let me fix my hair real quick. Because I think this bears repeating. I think this is worth it. Cause some of you might already know what I'm gonna say, and and it's very important. There are people. There are people. Yes, there are. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna use this as a mirror right here. There we go. We good. Look at. Just roll the fuck out of bed. We're gonna do this anyways, because this is what it looks like. There are people that have cut their finger and go and suck their blood. And they find nothing wrong with that. Most people will do this. I bet if you ask anyone on the whole entire planet if they've ever cut themselves and sucked their wound, everyone will unanimously say that's what they did because it was their instinct. Huh? But if I were to take my blood and filter it to the point that it becomes clean and pure and it comes out of my pee hole, not many people have drank their pee, which is actually the cleansed version of blood, of plasma. They'll put their dirty blood plasma back in their system. But pissing into a glass and drinking it is a no-no. It's a no-no because it's fucking clean and it's medicine. Blood though? Mm, suck the blood out your finger. Do you see I've literally unequivocally shown uh I'm pointing to it, the insanity of the normal mind of the masses, which has been controlled by, it doesn't matter what or who or how, but that you'll take dirty toxic blood and stick it back in your body, but you won't take the clean version. There's no one that has a mind capable of speaking intelligence that could argue with me over what I just said. Anybody? You could put what I just said all over the fucking internet, and anyone that listens to it, they can't actually respond with anything but stupid sophomore humor. They couldn't even respond to what I just said in a coherent way because you can't deny what I just said because it's actually scientific. I just I just told you about urine and blood and consuming it scientifically in a way that no one could ever argue with. It's an impossibility. It's already been written down that red blood is all the dirty blood and blah blah blah, and then we're gonna eat it, and then urine is already we've already figured out the kidneys are filtering to give you the correct pure blood plasma. We've already done that, and then I've just explained to you why that is healthy, and still people will attempt to ridicule the simplicity of life. I don't get it. So what's up, everybody? Fucking weird times, weird hours. Um, hey, what do y'all think about 2020? I think that's gonna. It's not the mainstream. Yeah, it's not. It never could be. That's the part that really troubles me in my mind to try to figure out what's supposed to happen in the future, because the popular establishment cannot exist if you tell everyone that they are gods and they have their own free will and their urine will fix them, then they don't have any power. Why would they I mean, relinquishing power for smart people is easy. You just go, well, that's over with. Cool. Just move on. What's next? But people that have power that are weak, they do not want to give it up. Could you imagine? I mean, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. I mean, I don't hate to say it. I'm just going to say it. Do you think, you know, 250-pound, pock-marked faced, fat dude is going to get a trophy wife unless he's worth $10 million? You know what I mean? Like, unless he's already done the things to get the money so that they're going to have the fancy shit around. That's what we're getting at. That's what I'm saying. Who's going to give that up? Uh, Go read the book Pottinger's Cats and understand why things went awry. And it sucks. It's got to be sucky not to be not good looking. It's got to be really. But their response to it is to somehow reclaim power through financial mechanisms. So, not good looking equals no one likes me because I don't have a personality either. That would be what that's what happens is when someone doesn't have a isn't good looking, they're either going to develop an amazing personality or be completely vanquished, like just without a personality. And so to develop a way to leverage energy, there was a system created called the money, which used uh, trees and like we get all that fun shit of like what is a financial resource? It just means okay, well, I'm gonna go out of my way to have extra paper. So what is that? Where does that come about from? What is the what is the what is the purpose? It's to leverage time while you're here and uh, manipulate things because without paper, she'd be worthless. Without paper, you'd be worthless. So you have to go. So what do you have to do? I'm going to show you. You have to go talk to daddy. Okay. What am I saying? Paper is pa. It's the papacy. You have to go talk to God or daddy through the papacy. Papa. Papacy. P-A-P-A. So go talk to daddy. This is what people do. What if you don't have? What if you don't have? Well, you talk to the papacy through money, which is mommy. So it's Mooney. Mooney is mommy, connected to the magnetisms of the world. So now we've already covered. What you have to do is cut down the father to get the paper, to have the Mooney. Mm. So, oh, little puppy head wants to go outside. So here's what I'm gonna do, y'all. Um, this has been a fucking joy and a pleasure. And I'm going to continue this in about 15 minutes. I'm going to go outside, walk the doggo, put my feet on the earth. But I'm going to come back here and we're going to do this again in about 15 minutes. And my phone will be charged and we'll have a good old time doing this again. Hopefully, um, hopefully y'all can come back. It'll be fun. I'll talk to you in about 10 minutes.